Hey, what's up guys, Nintenjoel here. Once again, it is time for a crazy video. We're going to do something a little bit inspired by another YouTuber. His name is David V-I-N-C or David V Inc. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I know he just goes by David. Watch that guy's stuff all the time. Lately he's been going through all of his consoles and just doing like his top 10 rarest games for each console, which I may actually do. And if you do want to see that, comment down below. Let me know if you want to see that as well. However, what we're doing today is more of an overview of my collection. We're going to go with the rarest or most expensive game on each console. That term is not necessarily, those terms are not necessarily interchangeable. Sometimes most expensive does not equal rarest, but or rarest does not equal most expensive. However, we're going to do kind of a mix of both, kind of the happy medium. It's mostly just the most expensive games, which turns out to be mostly the rare ones, but not always. There's a couple of really good examples. But anyways, there's a lot of games here, so let's just get right to it. We're going to go through oddball systems first, meaning not Sega or Microsoft or Nintendo or Sony. We'll do a few systems of those first. Then we're going to go through the Nintendo consoles that I collect for, then Sega, my one Xbox game for 360, and then we've got Sony stuff, and then we'll do all the handheld stuff for all the systems, which I don't really collect that many handhelds, so it should go fairly fast. But let's get started with the real weirdo here. We've got Pacific Battle for the Watara Supervision. This is a crazy handheld that was made in, I believe, Korea. Man, it's been a long time since I researched this, but I have done a video on this before. But Pacific Battle was like kind of arguably the most expensive one. This game console is so weird and obscure that it's really hard to find sold listings of this, but this generally goes for about $40 to $50. Moving on from there, I collect for Vectrex. I've only got a few games, but Star Castle seems to be the one that goes for the most. However, right now it's not. Let me check my yeah, so right now it says Web Wars is a little more expensive, but I've seen Star Castle actually sell for more, so that one's kind of debatable. And then next we've got Atari. This was a surprise to me because I always thought that Hero was my most expensive game. However, when I got some boxes recently and completed some games, or I should say a game, because I got rid of most of the boxes, I completed one Atari game, and it turns out this is more expensive than Hero completed, and that's Adventure. And this is in super nice shape, and this can go from, like $60-$70 actually, whereas Hero can go for $50-$60, something like that. And the last weirdo system, not really a weirdo system, but it doesn't really fit in anywhere else, and it's one of my favorite systems of all time. Most of you guys know that. For TurboGrafx, it's Soldier Blade, and this is a card only, Hue card only, and this goes for about, I have to check my screen over here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. This goes for about $200 to $250 for a card only, pretty reliably too, which is pretty crazy. Okay, moving on, we're going to get into the Nintendo stuff, so let's move firstly into Famicom, and we've got Wanpaku Graffiti, and this can go for about $45, loose cart. This is basically a chibi, cutesy Splatterhouse game, which is really, really fun. Very good game. Highly recommended. And then for regular Nintendo, man, I spent $0 on this. This was a gift from my friend Kevin, who watches the channel occasionally. But my most expensive game on Nintendo is definitely Gun-Knack, which reliably goes for about $300 to $400 now, which is absolutely insane. Although, kind of understandable. This is the best shooter on Nintendo, and a lot of people haven't really played it. Moving back to Japan, we've got Super Famicom, and definitely the most expensive game on the Super Famicom, and if this was on the Super Nintendo, it would be worth so much more, but Hagane. I decided that this game was worth owning in Japanese rather than English because, you know, I don't want to pay 10 times the amount. And now this is actually going for a lot more than what I paid for it. I think I paid like $40 or $45 for it, and this is going for about $80 to $100, and fairly reliably too when I was checking sources. So Hagane, great game, really, really hard. Okay, now here's the biggest surprise, and the one that's going to really separate the terms from each other: rare and expensive. My most expensive game for Super Nintendo is Earthbound. Is this game rare? No, hell no. I mean, I could argue that Inindo, what is it, Way of the Ninja, is more rare than Earthbound. I've seen so many copies of Earthbound. I've only seen a couple of copies of Inindo, and that's only worth like $20, so take from it what you will. But I mean, there's other games that are Definitely rarer than this game. I've only seen a couple copies of Imperium on Super Nintendo. If you need to see a review of that game, go check that out on my channel. But Imperium's way rarer than Earthbound, but it's like a third the price. Earthbound right now is going for about $350 to $400, which is absolutely insane. My rarest game before that used to be Evo Search for Eden. That game remains the same, though, pretty much. Okay, so moving on. I don't collect for N64. Probably you guys know that. I have before. It's just not really my system, and I can play most of the games I like in a different way, except for Ogre Battle. Really wish I almost want to get an N64 just to get Ogre Battle back, but anyways, no N64. So we've got GameCube, and this was another surprise. I thought for sure this was going to be, oh god, what, like Ikaruga, or no, Paper Mario. Thought it'd be a 1,000-Year Door for sure, but no, apparently Twilight Princess has shot up in value a crazy amount. And yeah, if you want to play Twilight Princess on the GameCube, you are going to have to pay about $145, and fairly reliably as well. Pretty crazy with that one, unexpected. This one was not unexpected at all. I knew this was my most expensive game, and it's not horribly expensive, though it does keep going up. On the Wii, we've got Last Story, but it's the special edition, and really nice. I like the way it fits in like a book, and the way it like kind of locks together. Super nice. I still have not played this game. This has been on my backlog for a very long time, but I never play my Wii. But this might actually get played this year. I have a few weirdos that I need to play this year. Moving on to another game I've never actually played before. The rarest game I have on Wii U, it's not that rare, is Xenoblade Chronicle X. Now, the thing is I feel like this is going to be the most expensive game on the system, or one of them, until it's remade. But I've heard that this is going to be nearly impossible to remake. I don't know much about it, but yeah, this one only goes for like 35, 40 bucks, something like that. But I do have another game that I do have on Wii U that I predict is going to be expensive is Tank Tank Tank. That one goes for about $30 and is pretty uncommon. And on Switch, I just got this, paid a lot of money for this because as soon as it was sold on Limited Run Games, I missed out. Like, I literally missed out by a day. I was really busy the day of the last day of it selling, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then, like, the next day it was double in value. I paid $135 for this and just got this, like, a week or so ago. This is Grandia HD Collection from Limited Run. This is Grandia 1 and 2 on Switch with a nice HD remaster. I have not opened it yet, but it will get opened. This is going for a lot of money already, $150 to $200. Generally, it's like $150. Like, as soon as I bought it, it went up to $150, but it has sold for $200, so it's probably going to sell for $200 again. Okay, so moving on, let's go to some Sega stuff. We got some real good Sega stuff for sure. Starting out with one of my most proud things in my collection for sure. We've got for the Master System, Golden Axe Warrior, the Zelda wannabe, but in a good way. Great game. It's got the original UPC sticker. This is the US version. If it does not have the sticker, it's the European version, and that's literally, I think, the only difference, unless maybe the manual is horizontal, but I don't remember. But anyways, this is definitely one of my rarest games, Golden Axe Warrior. This game generally goes for about $300, $350 if you've got the sticker and it's complete in box. Good game. Really good game. You know, one of those games that's actually rare and actually fun, just like this next one, which is arguably, I think, my most expensive game. If you check sold listings, it's sold for more than any of my other games, but it has not always reliably sold for that price. However, we've got Crusader of Senti, and this can go anywhere for $350 to $650. This is loose. I've owned this twice. My first one had a ripped label. I traded it. I regretted it really bad. Got it back with a bunch of trade fodder at a Retro Game Trader in near Portland. I think it's Hillsborough or something like that. But this game, I say $350 to $650 because it can sell. I've seen it sell for $350, but whoever got those deals got really good deals recently. Generally, you're going to see this about $500-ish. And then definitely my rarest and most expensive game for Sega CD. I don't collect for Saturn. Sorry, I used to. Shining Force CD, though, on the Sega CD. Great game. If you want to play the two Shining Forces, there was the one on Game Gear. That was only one part of two parts. This is both parts, I think. I'm pretty damn sure. But I've played this before, and it's really fun. I just don't remember exactly how it fits in, but very fun. Shining Force 1 and 2 and CD are my favorite Shining Force games, and probably my favorite tactical. RPGs except for maybe Front Mission. But this can go... Oh, this is crazy. I shouldn't even say this can go. This is one of the most reliably, like, price-accurate games I've seen sold on eBay. This very reliably, through multiple sold listings, sells for $350 complete in box like this. So very, very cool. Why don't we move on to something different? Let's move on to my only Microsoft game that's going to be on this list. I don't collect for original Xbox. I might get back into it, but there's really only a few games I want, and they're not pressing matters. However, I do have a small 360 collection. I started collecting for that just recently. I've always had like a couple games, but definitely the one that's always been my favorite. Not very rare, but I have the feeling it's going to get more expensive. Lost Odyssey, 4-disc, badass, basically Final Fantasy game that we never got as the Final Fantasy. And it's super sweet, really good game. This generally goes for like $25-30, no big deal, but if this doesn't get remade soon, this is going to shoot up in price, just like everything else is these days. Mark my words. Okay, so let's move on to PlayStation. PlayStation's kind of a funny one, and if it wasn't for one little thing, this would be kind of a tie between Revelations Persona and Persona 2. I do own Persona 2, and they can both flux quite a bit from about $400 to $500, but also plus sometimes. Ugh, it's all over the place. But we got Persona Revelations, and then I do have Persona 2. However, that one's got no manual, and it's got a little bit of damage on the back. What's crazy is I got both of those games together for $80 on Amazon years ago, and they're just worth so much money. Generally, you're going to see this for about $450. But Persona Revelations, the hated Persona game, and yet it's so rare, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't know what's wrong with people. If you don't like old school gaming, yeah, I guess, but whatever. It's awesome. PS2, actually, I was going to move on, but PS2 is a weird one. PS2 is a special edition. I just got it real recently. You guys probably saw the video. If you haven't, check out my last pickup video. It was insane. And it came with this. Devil Summoner 2 sealed special edition with the plushie. Everything on this is sealed. Pretty badass. This reliably goes for about $300 and definitely staying in my collection. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I'm going to make a pretty penny on that so I can buy some other games. Nope. As soon as I really saw it in real life, I was like, I'm keeping that. So, and it might even get opened and played. So, yeah, there's that. So that's PS2. And then for PS3, this is a recent one. This is a real recent one. Oh, no, I forgot a game. Ha! Forgot a Sega game. Damn, went out of order one. Oh well, no big deal. This one's funny though. It almost didn't make the list because I kind of forgot about it. But I have one game for Dreamcast, and it's a disc only. Phantasy Star Online, which I don't even know if I put the price on it. I didn't. I think this is like $35-40 even for a disc only. This is a great game. This is a fun game. The only reason this is the only game I have is because I bought a Dreamcast last year with this game in it for like $30. So there you go. But it is a really fun game. That's actually why I bought it. I was like, Phantasy Star, of all games. Anyways, PS3, moving on from the PS2 and pretending that didn't happen, we've got 3D Dot Game Heroes. Man, I've been saying this game's going to be worth something forever. Pretty much since I got it. I was like, this game's going to be rare. I guarantee this game's going to go up. It's got the Zelda look, but the Dragon Quest looking figure. Plus, you can make your own character. And it hasn't been released on anything else, and it's a badass, like, Zelda-type clone, but I think it has RPG mechanics. It's been so long since I played it, but this is a really fun game. I remember really enjoying it. I got this with my system a long-ass time ago, and yeah, 3D Dot Game Heroes can go for about $90 to $100, which is crazy because that game was, like, $20 forever, and I knew it. I frickin' knew it. Alright, so, moving on to PS4. This is also a recent acquisition from that same lot that I got, the crazy-ass pickup. Go check that pickup up. It was, I mean, you can see it was amazing. For my most rare and expensive game for PS4, we've got Persona 5, Take Your Heart Premium Edition, and this can go for $125 to $150. I've seen it sell for both, so, you know, take from it what you will. But, as I always say, if it's sold for $150 once, it's probably going to sell for $150 again. So right now I'd say that's probably worth about $150, but maybe a little less. Okay, so moving on from that, I guess we're getting into the last stack, which is the handheld. So cool, we got some cool stuff here. We're just going to continue with Sony. So we're going to do PSP, which right now seems to be Persona 3, although Persona 2 can also get really expensive. And I have a sealed copy of Persona 2, but that's not really in my collection. That's to be traded or sold when I find the appropriate time or the appropriate buyer/trader. So in my collection, I would say Persona 3 on PSP is the most expensive game. However, this can vary wildly in price. I mean, this is one of the ones that actually varies the most. Persona 3 can go for $250 to $400 and $400 plus. There was a listing on eBay that sold for like $490, and now I can't find it. So I'm not sure if that was a bullshit listing or not, but I have seen one sell for $399, I believe. So Persona 3, definitely a rare one. Vita's a funny story. I've only got a few games, and so that being said, my rarest game is actually a sealed game. I never opened this and I never played it, but I did not even pay the price tag on this. I believe I got this for half off. It was on clearance. My buddy Jesse picked this up for me in Grants Pass, and it's Lost Dimension on the PS Vita. It's an Atlas game. I have not played this game yet. It looks badass as shit. And for a while, this game really wasn't worth any more than it normally went for. But it was cool because I got it for $20. But now it has shot up to about 90-ish. Was about 60-ish for a while for a sealed copy. But now it's about 90-ish. 90-ish. It's a hard word to say. But yeah, Lost Dimension. Need to play that game eventually. Okay, so moving on. Let's move on to some Game Boy stuff. Or not Game Boy, but Nintendo stuff. Starting with the Game Boy, we've got Final Fantasy Legend 2. Complete in box, very great game, fun game, and I love the artwork and the presentation. It just looks so nice and clean. And I actually got this not that long ago, this year, sometime within this year, and this goes for about, let's see, $60 to $70 complete in box. So, and pretty reliably too. I remember looking that up, and it was just back and forth, 60, 70, 60, 70. So, great game. And similar price on this next one. We've got, I'll take it out of the case here. Revelations: The Demon Slayer. If I remember correctly, this is the first Shin Megami Tensei game we ever got in America. Game Boy Color game. I only own a few Game Boy Color games, so this was an obvious choice, but it goes for about $60, card only, and if you want a complete in box, it's quite a bit more than that. But Revelations: The Demon Slayer is really cool. It's very much like the Pokemon aesthetic that Shin Megami Tensei involved in later on with their games, but, you know, Game Boy Color and a lot more Pokemon-ish and cutesy and a quicker gameplay for sure. Okay, now definitely for the Game Boy Advance, so this was no surprise. My most expensive game, however, how much it's worth is... Actually, this was kind of a surprise. I thought it was going to be my Castlevania Double Pack. And no, it wasn't. However, there's problems with my copy, but Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, this can go for $200 complete in box, but I don't know if you guys can tell or not, my box is squished, and it's messed up, and all this has in it is the inner box and the manual, that's it. But the card's in perfect shape, so what mine would go for is questionable, maybe $150. But still, I think that beats out the double pack. I can't believe how much this game is. However, it's not a surprise with how good of a game it is, and this being the only way to play it. So if you've never played Minish Cap before, find a way to play it. Definitely a good time. We've only got 2 more games, and that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give a thumbs up. That would be rad. Subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm probably going to go through my games and do it like one console at a time as well. So if you guys want to see that, again, leave a comment down below. But yeah, that'd be awesome if you gave a like and subscribe to the video. Let's move on to our last 2 games for DS. This was not a surprise at all. This one was not a surprise at all. I've been watching the prices on this rise just over and over. I'm so glad I got these when they came out. But Dragon Quest V, Hand of the Heavenly Bride on DS, definitely the rarest game I have. I know that there are more expensive DS games for sure. Again, this is just my list, but this game goes for a whopping $190 plus. What? What? It's a great game. I actually just beat this game, last year? And very fun game. Great game, in fact, but Jesus, $190. Like, I'm so glad I have all those Dragon Quest games. And so that leads to the last game. This is for the 3DS. And this is funny because I didn't have all the Dragon Quest games. In fact, I'm still missing one. Well, actually, I'm missing a few, but I'm missing Dragon Quest 7 on 3DS, but I did get Dragon Quest 8 on 3DS, but I got this really recently, like a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I was like, man, this is getting expensive quick, and I bought this for like 55 or 60 bucks, and now it's like 150 bucks, and reliably, how? 2 months? 2 months? What is going on with game prices? It's absolutely crazy. But I'm glad I got these games while I did. I'm very happy with my collection. Right, I could stop collecting right now and honestly be pretty happy. But yeah, it's pretty crazy what some of these games have gotten to. It's absolutely insane. So, if you guys want to do a follow-up video, maybe a response video, that would be sweet as hell. Or if you want, you can even list all your games in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your rarest games are, or even if your number one rarest game. What's your top rarest game? Which game of mine did you think was the best one out of the ones that are rare? I don't know. I think Earthbound's pretty damn good. That's a really good one. Persona. Jeez, man, there's so many. Crusader of Senti is genuinely one of my favorite games on Sega Genesis, and it's the most expensive. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Keep rocking the retro games.